Hey folks, Andy here. I'm back. I unintentionally at first and then intentionally for a little while took a little bit of a break from the game. My English teacher in high school, can't remember which one. I'm gonna assume it was one of the good ones. Said that you always need to let your writing ripen. That she was a phrase that she always used, that like, okay, finish a little early, let it ripen for a little while, and then bring it back, and you'll come out with a whole new, fresh perspective. And that's something that I decided to do. So I ended up taking a couple of days away from the project. I was completely consumed by it. It kind of happens for me in the first 30 to 50 hours into a board game design idea, and then I just took a break from it for a few days, and then I said, you know what, let's just let that sit for a little bit, and I'll come back at it with a fresh perspective. And so that's what I did. I played it tonight, and I still love it. It's still a lot of fun. It's hard to know how long it took me to play it, because I was like watching TV and talking and stuff while I was doing it, but it probably was about a half an hour worth of playing time. One thing that struck me is some of the components are getting really tight. So the resource, the number of cubes on the resource card is like as tight as you can possibly get. I don't know that I can do anything about that. I think the ideal situation is to have the game is to maybe make it a 10 card game, but I'd like to keep it under the 9 card thing for now because that's one sheet of paper. But I think eventually if we want to make a nicer version of the game, we might have to do that. I don't know. Or maybe track rounds with a die. I don't know, with a D8. I don't know how many people actually have that, so I don't know. Whatever. But so the other thing that struck me about the game, well, so first of all, I lost, and I lost. It was very, very close. It's still on the hard time. I played version 6.0. One thing that was absolutely key that was awesome is I added another way of getting carry. So I'm actually looking at the game right now. That's right here on my screen. So usually the only way to increase your carry is to get a tote bag. And so that's why tote bags are really important. So that was something that I kind of knew going in. For version 6.0, I also added, if you defeat the rusted out toolbox, you get +1 carry, which is really interesting because then the toolbox is really nice. But then if you defeat him, he's not that hard to defeat. He's a 10 hit point, 3 attack. So he can do damage, but if you get pretty lucky, if you get 2 good rolls, then you're in good shape. But then you get that +1 carry, and really going from the baseline 3 carry to a 4 carry is really good. That's a huge boon. Okay, but it still was not smooth sailing from there. See, in earlier versions of the game, once you got a good carry and once you got a good amount of resources, you could just barter your way through it. Can't do that anymore. For one thing, the round is ticking down, and there are just fewer deals out there because every character is better of a specialist. There were definitely times where I was making kind of downhill or uphill trades. Or I was making kind of a bad trade where I was like, like for example, Bolt Rats he's good at giving you metal. But there were some situations that just to get past the creature, I would give them metal and get a bad deal out of it, but just to get past the creature. And, I'm totally okay with that. It is frustrating, though. And, but that's, I think, part of the emotional experience. So anyway, I'm kind of talking through this. This might be a little bit of a longer video because I'm kind of verbally processing this, but it was really helpful to let this ripen, to let this sit where it is. I actually feel like this game is not that far from where I want it to be. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to be a super long project. I was shooting for maybe 100 hours or so to be able to call it done. About 50 into it. What I really need right now is lots of playtesting, lots of self-playtesting, and lots of playtesting from friends. And I want to make sure that it's beatable. It's not just about random number generators. So it's not just about getting a good thing. See, this particular round that I played tonight was I got screwed over. I felt like I got screwed over a little bit because I really needed to replenish my hit points. I didn't want to do any attacks. My hit points went down to like 4. I needed that socket wrench puppy, or I needed another thing to let me buy bandages. And I had all the stuff, but he just didn't keep coming up in my cards. And it was like, three rounds in a row, I want to say, that I didn't get the ability to restore my hit points, which sucked. But at the same time, this is why I go back and play roguelikes. Roguelikes always have an edge to them. They always have a spikiness to them where you know that the RNG will screw you over. And if the game always gives you mercy, then there's no sense of danger, and danger in the sense that, like, you've wasted all this time, you've wasted the evening playing it, and then you're going to lose. Which honestly, if you're spending a whole evening playing roguelike, even if you lose, losing is fun, right? But yeah. Okay, so I like it. So I'm gonna keep doing some balancing. I'm gonna look at really bad starting hands, but really I'm just gonna keep playing it. I'm tempted to make changes, but I don't think that I should. I think I should just play it and get to like maybe 10 play tests by myself. I think what I'm going to do next is see if I can show you all the game. So I've been thinking about what I want to do for the next screen capture. And I've been goofing around with Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator. I have a copy of Tabletop Simulator, so I think I'm going to show that. And I think that'll be a nice way to like show off the rules of the game and then also show an actual playthrough of the game, because I can like move the camera around and stuff like that within it, and I can just do screen recording as opposed to filming here with the camera. I don't know. I'm just not good at it. I did that for the heist video and it didn't come out as good as I wanted it to be. Anyway, yeah, so I think this thing is in good shape. Oh, one other really great news. Sorry, long video. My friend, I play tested his game. Really cool game. It's a kid's game. It's called Logic Islands. I really like it. I'll put a link to the description in the description below. It's currently under development, but he's done a great job. His name's Ethan Hackett. He sent me some sketches of I think he did a really cool sketch of a friendly can of lube, rusted out toolbox, minor ductwork, major ductwork. So I love his tap spider. He's done some really cool illustrations. Way better. I mean, I already knew he was a super talented artist, but what he had in mind was way better than what I had in my mind, which is why I love working with artists, because they're awesome. And so I hope that we can continue this. Right now, it's just kind of, we're just friends, and he's just trying things out, and so we'll see. If I can, maybe I'll get permission to put those images up and I'll put them in the next video or something. But yeah, that's exciting. This thing's coming together. So anyway, I will see you next time with hopefully a Tabletop Simulator video or something else. I don't know. Have a nice night.